Star Wars Battlefront is a first-person shooter in the Star Wars universe that serves as a reboot of the Battlefront franchise. This game was made by DICE Team, the ones that made the Battlefield games. This game had a huge marketing campaign and managed to sell over 12 million copies in its first 2 months after its release. There are many complaints about this game, like the absence of a single-player story mode and the overall lack of content, as opposed to the previous Battlefront games. Now I bring up the question, is this game worth the full retail price of $60? This highly depends on what kind of games you would spend money on. If you want a game to play every once in a while with or without friends, and you like Star Wars and you have a permanent internet connection, then this is the perfect game for you. But if you're looking for a game with a great single player experience and a good length, then stay away from this game. Many gamers have criticized the fact that it feels that some content is missing that would have been easily put in the game for free instead of spending $50, and I repeat, $50 worth of Season Pass DLC, which is a thing that I won't talk about now because it would take a whole other video. And while I do agree that we're in 2016 and things like these should not happen anymore, I feel like the game works kind of better this way. First, let's start with the backbone of any shooter game, the maps. In Star Wars Battlefront, the locations are few but are very expensive. The for now 5 maps are Endor, Tatooine, Solus, Jakku and Hoth. And oh my god, Endor is really immersive and looks and feels like a real forest. The other maps are amazing, they are pretty big and I always find new places to explore. If I were to review a game based on presentation alone, Star Wars Battlefront will get an 11 out of 10. The graphics are astounding and the sound design, oh my god, the sound design. The sounds in this game are amazing. DICE Team perfectly nailed the sound of a blaster firing on someone or the scream of a TIE fighter as they rush over your head. Sometimes I would just run around the map, soaking the Star Wars atmosphere, because that is what Battlefront does best. Talking about the gameplay, Star Wars Battlefront is your typical first or third, you can change perspective, person shooter with 0 to none innovation. You go around, shoot something, die, rinse and repeat. And it's actually pretty fun, because it makes you feel what the real battle looks like, with tons of casualties and non-stop action. Even the blasters in this game aren't a lot, merely 11, but they manage to feel different with rifles, heavy blasters, sniper, etc. Since Battlefront is a multiplayer oriented experience, the online modes are very fun, at least some of them. You have your usual team deathmatch, capture the flag, domination, but the ones that shine the most in my opinion are Supremacy, Walker Assault and Fighter Squadron. In Supremacy, 20 players versus other 20 fight to get the most core points in a huge map with vehicles, power-ups and heroes. And nothing makes your adrenaline rush as seeing Luke Skywalker on the battlefield, cutting down stormtroopers like nobody's business. Walker Assault is very similar, except the rebels need to activate the uplinks, to call the Y-Wings, to bomb the AT-ATs so they are vulnerable to blaster fire. It seems complicated, but trust me, it isn't. The Empire on the other hand has to protect the walkers by switching off the uplinks and buying time for the AT-ATs so they can cross the battlefield and destroy the rebel base. This is one of my favorite modes as the whole team has one objective to pursue together. Fighter Squadron is another mode I like. 10 versus 10 pilots fight in an only vehicle skirmish in the air, and it's really satisfying when you manage to gun down that TIE fighter and then get obliterated by Boba Fett's Slave One. It's one of the most chill modes. It doesn't have much depth to it and I find it pretty relaxing. The other modes are just the usual deathmatch, capture the flag with some variations. I think that these are pretty much filler content just to boast the 9 game modes that Battlefront has, but I do admit that I enjoy them from time to time to take a break from Walker Assault. The reason I think that Star Wars Battlefront has very little to offer but still manages to function very well is its appeal. If this game would have not been Star Wars, it would have been an immense failure. The fact that you get to feel like you're really in the movies is what I think the developers wanted to achieve, and they really nailed it. Sadly, this game kinda get boring after a while and has to be played every once in a while to make sure it stays interesting. Star Wars Battlefront is a blast, no pun intended, to play with friends. I may have upset a lot of people, but I like this game and accept it for what it is. Unless the DLCs bring something freaking awesome, this game is a 7 out of 10 missed opportunity. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It's a kind of a project I meant to do in quite a while, and I hope you enjoyed it. In comments in the comment section. This is kind of an experiment video. I don't know if it went well, but who cares? And I don't know if we're making more of these, but I hope so, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So bye.